plays the ball to Casey, which I don't think he wanted. And that's a good ball for Chris Cook. Cook going in on the keeper. Magnificent goal by Chris Cook. Oh, tremendous.
Step to Mark Angel. It's good delivery as well. Free header and a goal. Oh, what an introduction. Ray Warburton with a header. And surely now, Boston United are on the way to the Football League for the first time in their history.
Here is Whittle. Knowles. Foulis. And Boston do have their equaliser. Brackley back in possession. And there it is, the final whistle. Boston United are promoted back to the National League.
Greatest of escapes from Boston United. They looked dead and buried at one point, 12 points away from being a National League side once again, but they've done it. Graham Coughlin has worked absolute miracles here at the Jatemans Community Stadium.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Up the Pilgrims. I'm Damien and I'm joined once again by Stedders and by David. Hello guys, how you doing?
Hello. Yeah, very well. Very tired, but good to be back on another ep. And we're slowly building forward to that new season, aren't we? And this is probably one of my favourite episodes for actually doing in terms of like a fun factor. It's not going to be, we're not going to get everyone bang on, but it's just interesting to see why people think what they think they do.
Exactly. So we're going to come to that in a moment. I'm just going to start off by sending our condolences to the family of Mr. Boston United himself, John Blackwell. He sadly passed away earlier this week, and he was a pivotal figure at Boston United. Been there since 1978, and he fulfilled many positions at the club. He retired in 2016, but he did remain president of the club and was often seen around match days, home and away. So he will be missed. And we just want to send our condolences from everyone here at Up the Pilgrims to Maureen and the rest of the family, to John Blackwell. Mm-hmm. Right, we're also going to mention about Morecambe, because it's been a hard week for them. Again, no one seems to know what's going on. They've been suspended from the National League. Of course, Boston United were due to play them this weekend. That game has been called off. They've been suspended until August the 20th. We've heard different reports. There's reports that they are out of money now, and no one seems to know what is going on. Hopefully something will happen and we will get to see them at the Jatemans later on this season. I do understand their shirts went on sale last night, and sold out quite quickly as well. So hopefully they will get to see the team play in their shirts. But I guess time will tell. But yeah, everyone associated with Morecambe as well, we do want to wish you well. Right, lads, let's move on, because we're gonna talk about, this is the episode where we talk about our predictions for the season. And before we go into the predictions, I just want to say again, anyone that's listening from any other teams or watching from any other teams, we're not great at this. It's just our own thoughts. It's what we think is going to happen. We mean no offense to anyone listening about where your team is going to finish. And as I say, thank you as well to everyone that has given us their predictions. I will be reading some out a little later, but we've had some friendlies, and we've had our last friendly, which coincided last Saturday with the 6-0 win against Sheffield United under 21s. And Stedders, you were at the game. How did you think we did?
Yeah, all three of us at the game, I think. Nobody really called the result, did they? That's for sure.
No.
But all the performance, really, they're brilliant, weren't they? How good were they on Saturday? Excellent. Really, really good. Flowing football, goals galore, some fantastic performances. Love the look of Lancashire on Saturday. I think we mentioned him in our in our little chat. I thought it was excellent on Saturday for us. Brilliant. Down that left side. I think he's probably cemented himself a starting place come the first league game of the season, to be honest with you. He's been one of the very bright sparks, I think, in this pre-season. Of course, Kieran Donnelly came off the bench as well, scored a hat-trick for us and did his lovely little somersault in front of them fans there. But all round, it was a great day, weren't it? The weather was good. The scoreline was good. Perfect. What more could we ask for? A clean sheet, goals, confidence. And in some ways, the game that's been postponed on Saturday might be a bit of a blessing. We've got another week with the guys now, haven't we? That we can try a few things out in a couple of games now and maybe just see what's going on. I reckon we were probably a game short in pre-season. I don't know what you two thought, but I actually thought we'd maybe look like a bit like we're a game behind, if you know what I mean in that sense. I think that maybe we probably announced one less than I would have liked. But it is what it is, isn't it? So we've maybe got now these 2 games to have a look at a few things as well. Not sure where we stand on trialists in playing them games, but that'll all be sorted out as well. You see, I'm not sure where that happens there. But no, Damo, what a result. Can't really say much about, of course, the opposition because obviously it was an under-21 side. But from a Boston point of view, ticked all the boxes.
Yeah, as I say, Kieran Donnelly, a fantastic hat-trick. I think we should think about a song for him, don't you? I don't know if there's one out there or not.
No, I've not heard it.
No, I haven't heard one. But David, how did you take Saturday?
Yeah, I think it was put in there as obviously the last pre-season fixture as one to build the confidence into the season. And, I was expecting a bit more from Sheffield United on the 21s or development or whatever they're called at the moment. But no, we came in and just some clinical finishing on the day helped us through, and it definitely boosted morale because it was nice to see the players celebrating together because we haven't really seen that many goals this pre-season. We also saw trialist D make his first appearance in Jordi Hawula. It took me about 5 seconds. I knew who he was straight away. I was straight on X. It's a bit sad, really, actually. But we saw him play a little bit. He linked up well with the rest. Maybe could be somebody we could definitely look at, especially with the injuries and the unknown certainty of, Linnell John Lewis, whether he's going to play or not. So it's definitely somebody that we could have a look at. And then the fact that the Morecambe game has been postponed, but we've got the National League Cup games as well.
That's right.
Like Tom said about the trialists, we don't know how they're going to work it because last season in the National League Cup, the rule was that you had to have 4 starters from the previous National League match. But because we're playing them first, surely that means that rule doesn't apply to us. So we're just going to treat it as 2 extra games against semi-decent opposition to build the fitness up. And hopefully we'll be one of the fittest teams and in the division coming into our first game. We'll probably be one of the teams near the bottom on the opening day. But, it'll probably work for us better in the long run, I think. So, you can see it maybe being a bit of a positive for ourselves, and we really need to take hold of these National League Cup games, and it's good to see that we're getting them out of the way early on. Depends which take we have on it. Graham's always said if we're in a competition we want to win it, but also it is a good thing that if we do start sustaining injuries, it can prevent that later on in the season with like lack of fixture build up. So it's good to get them out of the way, but it's also good as a sort of pre-season tournament, let's say, as well.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, last season, I remember when Cully was in charge, he was playing mostly his sort of under 21s and under 23 squad in them games. And then when Graham came in, he was actually putting the full first team squad in, wasn't he? Obviously, he was looking at the players at the time anyway, trying to build them up. And I'm guessing this is something, he's going to look to do, isn't it? This weekend against Middlesbrough and then on Tuesday against Leeds. But I mean, I have to say, for me, the difference I found was the Grimsby game and Saturday's game against Sheffield United. I know the opposition was different, but I mean, with Grimsby, you could tell they were definitely at least a week ahead of us on fitness. They did look slightly the better team, though probably didn't have as many chances as they probably should have done either. But I mean, on Saturday, it was just all Boston United, which was absolutely fantastic, and as I say, 6 great goals and very happy with how it went.
And one thing as well, Damon, we should mention as well is it's the only time Connor Teal and Zach Mills have played together all pre-season. So you can read into that what you will. But
Yeah.
we look so much different at the back when them two play together, don't we?
Definitely.
You get their partnership going there. I think it's a case of Graham knew what they could do together, but that was the game that he tried it out in, and defensively we look so much more solid.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
You're right there.
I'll back you on that.
Right. Are we ready? Are we ready for our predictions then?
Ready to ruffle some feathers.
Right. So we're going to start off. I'm going to find my predictions, and we're going to start off from the bottom, going up to the top. And I think we're probably all in agreement with the bottom one. I would probably say Brackley to finish bottom. No, I'm only joking. Unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier on, Morecambe, if they do get to start the league, I think they are going to finish bottom of the league. Haven't really got a team there. Haven't got, if they do get a chance to get some playing staff in, I don't think, they're going to get too many great players in. And I think they're just going to struggle this season. So my 24th is going to be Morecambe. David?
Yeah, mine is also Morecambe. I only think they've only got about 8 or 9 senior players, and then it's just the youth setup. That is definitely not enough to run it in this league. Even if they do get going, it'll probably be a miracle if they do get going now. The absolute, I don't know, it's absurd, isn't it? How somebody can do this to a football club and all the fans in Jason Whittingham, he's just trying to sell the club off for as much money as he can, but he's already lost that much that the leverage that he's trying to gain back is going to kill the club, and it is slowly dying. And, there was reports the other day that it was declared bankrupt or whatever. The club's not dead yet, 100%, but it definitely doesn't look good. So, yeah, it's sad to see that this has happened. And if they do get going, and that's a very big if, because, I think it may just be done and dusted now. I think they'll really, really struggle to maintain a place in this division this year.
Tom?
Yeah. There's not much more you can add to that as well. You might also add to that as well, if for any chance they get playing in this, they're probably going to be 12 points behind from a sanction anyway, aren't they?
Yeah.
So no chance have they, let's be honest with them. In some ways, I just hope it's right for the fans if they do it, and I hope the fans just treat it as a bit of a season where they can watch their team and not expect anything from them if it happens. But let's face it, that it's looking very, very unlikely that anything's going to happen now. And like you say, you just hope that's never us again.
Yeah, and I did hear earlier on, just Don Morecambe, is that apparently from someone who's on the fan zone on the podcasts for Morecambe, is that someone else has actually, a businessman in Morecambe, has traded a new name of AFC Morecambe. So obviously that's where they're possibly looking at going, but obviously that's going to be sanctions. It's going to be starting right at the bottom again, working their way up. So, if that is the case, then as I say, we do wish them all well anyway, all their supporters and everyone. Hopefully we get to see you, but if not, definitely wish you well, and hopefully we'll see you in a few years' time, maybe down the line. You never know. So we're going to start off, we're going to carry on rather now with 23rd. And my pick for 23rd is Truro. I picked Truro 23rd because I just feel they've got a lot of travelling to do up the country rather, not going to be down the country. You can't get any further. Up the country, and I just feel it might take its toll on the team this season. So, yeah, my pick, 23rd for Truro. Tom?
I've actually gone for somebody different. I've gone for Braintree for 23rd. The only reason being is they've had really poor recruitment this season. If you look at the players coming in and going out, key players have left. Their form really dipped at the back end of the season as well. I was surprised he did so well the season just gone, to be honest with you. But no, the recruitment, especially if you look at the players they've lost. Lisby's gone, hasn't he? And a few others have gone from there. They're going to struggle. They are really going to struggle this time around. And I just can't see them getting out of that bottom four this time. I think I did pick them to go down last season as well. Sorry, Frank. So it's not that I haven't got anything against you. It's just that I just
against Puff.
well. So And let's be honest, it's not a nice ground to go visit either. So for that reason, Braintree are going to get relegated in 23rd for me.
Right. And David?
Yeah, for the majority of the same reasons you did, Damo. I've put Truro City in 23rd. It's a lot of travelling for them, but it may look an attractive option for players located down south to go play, but would you really want to be covering all these miles to places like Gateshead and Hartlepool and Carlisle? That is a hell of a trip, and it's ridiculous that it spans this far. But that's just football, isn't it? I believe they're the first Cornish team to ever be promoted into the top 5 tiers of football and in England, and I think they're really going to struggle. They've got John Askey in charge. Brought York up in the old playoffs against little old Boston. So he's a good manager. They probably are capable of doing something in the unique position that they're in. I think it's just one of those where we're just gonna have to wait and see. To be perfectly honest with you, they're sort of an unknown entity. But they've got a lot of cards stacked against them, certainly. So that's why I've tipped them to go down in 23rd place.
Right. And obviously we've got them at the end of August. Are any of you guys planning on going down to Truro?
Oh, I'm away that week.
I know.
Fortunately, yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to really go, but unfortunately it's just too far. And yeah, I've got issues here at home which I need to obviously deal with, so it's a bit too far for me as well. So yeah, unfortunately, maybe next year if they did stay up, but we shall wait and see. Right, looking at 22nd, and I've got Brackley Town again, just coming up. They did well last season. After the season before, obviously we beat them in the playoff final. So they did well last season to get themselves back up there and get promoted. But I just can't see them staying up. Of course, they've got Cameron Gregory there as well, our ex-goalkeeper. So they've got a good goalkeeper there. I know they've signed a few decent players, but I just think it's maybe too soon for them, and I could see them going back down. So Brackley Town 22nd. David?
In my 22nd place, I've gone for Braintree because mostly of what Tom said as well, it's the recruitment side of it. Look at players that they've lost. Lots of players gone and kicked on further in their careers, and ever since Harrop left and there was talks of him majorly overspending the wage bill, you can definitely see the ramifications of that coming into this season. They definitely look like they've got a smaller budget and they're having to cut down. I mean, they're signing players from step 4 and step 5. Yes, they are good players at step 4 and 5, but come on, are they really that good enough? It's the risk that they're having to taking in the financial position that they seem like they're in, and that's why I predicted them to go down in 22nd place. I think it'll be a hard year for Braintree fans.
Right, Steaders.
Similar to you, actually, Dave. Damo, actually, Brackley Town for me, 22nd, and I'm putting it down to a couple of things. I think Boston's done it right this season, going full time, because remember Brackley are still part time. So I think part time National League football I just don't think it's not gonna exist soon, is it?
No, I mean, it worked for Tamworth last season, didn't it?
Yeah, there's not many about, though, is there, nowadays? And
no. If
they are, you know what I mean, to get it to work for you nowadays. And unfortunately, football is a bit of a bottomless pit of money when it comes to recruitment, isn't it? So, I just don't think the part-time hybrid thing's going to last much longer. I think you are going to have to be full-time. I think all these teams are going to have to be full-time eventually. Their home form's going to be absolutely key to them. They're going to pick up points. If they're going to pick up points, it's going to be at home, isn't it? And obviously relying on Waldron to get all their goals for them. Like I say, I just don't, similar to you, Damo, I just can't see it. I think they're probably going to let in a lot of goals as well. Do you know what I mean? They're going to be that kind of side that's going to concede a few. Yeah. So, Brackley in 22nd for me as well.
It'd be a shame, wouldn't it, really, for Brackley, after all the years of trying. Yeah, for them to go down, what was it, eight times they finished in the playoffs in the last 10? They
deserve this season, don't they? Of course they do.
100%,
They
100%.
have earned it, yeah.
But
Yeah.
No, it'll be interesting to see how they do, because obviously I think they've got quite a well backed squad and a well backed owner. He's got lots of money in the pocket, so it could happen. It could happen, and what do we know? We're just people who just watch National League football every week.
Well, I hope they've replaced them Portaloos as well at the ground. They were awful. All our fans trying to get in 4 Portaloos. That was awful as well. So hopefully they've sorted that problem out. Right, my 21st and final relegation place will be Braintree. Again, as I say, we've mentioned Braintree already on this episode. Yeah, I just can't see them staying up. It's who they've got in, the players they've got in, and yeah, I just can't see it. There's a lot of better teams in there, and I think they will struggle massively this season. So Braintree Town 21st for me. David, who's your 21st position?
Even though I was gassing them up a second ago, I've gone for Brackley, because the fact of the players that they have signed are quality players. You look at players that are stepping down from the Football League, or players that are looking for a part-time opportunity at the level. There's not many teams that offer it now. I think it's just Wealdstone, but they might be a hybrid. Brackley are they hybrid or are they part-time? I don't really know. I couldn't really tell you. So and then there's Tamworth, which are also going hybrid, I think, this season. So we are pulling away very quickly from the teams being part-time in this division, and whilst it can attract the players at the top end who want to be part-time, scaling back their careers, coming back wanting to spend more time with their families, they are in a good position to recruit people like that. But also they could be caught out fitness wise, and I think we definitely saw that at the start of last year. Graham Coughlin had to work absolute miracles. He was saying they were full-time footballers by the end of it on part-time contracts, because of the amount that they were having to train and work and to try and stay in the division. So we may see something like a Boston struggle from Brackley next year.
Stedders, who's going to be your 21st?
Wealdstone for me, 21st. Lost key players. Again, really relied heavily on the Alex Reid loan and similar last season. And again, if they're going to do anything, their home form again, if they can make their home a fortress, they've got a chance. But it's only going to be home points they pick up on. I can't see them getting many away from home. But yeah, for that reason as well, I just think that they're going to struggle a little bit this season, Wealdstone. So I've gone for them in 21st. Sorry, Mr. Raider again.
Yeah, it'd be coming to get us.
Well, definitely.
So that is our teams who we think are going to get relegated as well. So some similarities there between the three of us, maybe in different positions. But now who's just going to perform the Great Escape just like Boston did? And the plus points are we haven't mentioned Boston United yet. So it's a bit more positive this season by the looks of it. My 20th position is going to be Wealdstone. Probably pretty much what you were saying, Stedders. I just think they're going to struggle this season. I think they're a team that are going to be sort of down and around, the bottom. But like I say, I think there's 4 teams that are a little bit worse than them. And I mean, they did well last season, I think, in the end as well. They picked up some points quite late on and managed to survive. And I think they'll probably do the same this coming season. So in my 20th position is Wealdstone. Stedders?
I've gone for the wild card that is Truro. So I have gone to just scrape it. But again, it's going to be home form that's going to keep them up. I really like John Askey. I think David mentioned the manager obviously before. Really, really like him as a manager. So he might be able to pull a few strings and get some work done down there. Like you say, the travelling away is going to kill them because they've got to do more miles than anybody else. So again, home form is going to be key. But But again, if they can make their place an awful place to go and play, as well as add the distance onto it, who knows? But that's where they're going to pick up their points at home. But Truro just missed the drop, but I'm talking probably goal difference here. We're not talking like a massive amount, maybe a point. You know what I mean? It's going to be cut. It's going to be very, very cutthroat and very tight down there, isn't it? I don't think there's going to be much between these sides that we've mentioned, barring poor old Morecambe. I don't think there's going to be a lot between Braintree and Brackley, or Wealdstone or Truro, for my liking, who the four that I've named so far. So I think it will be a very tight division down there this season. Again, it'll run to the wire. But yeah, Truro to make it and to survive another year in the National League.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, the home form, I guess, teams going there, obviously it's going to be hard for them travelling, but teams going to them as well. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot staying the night, I'd imagine, especially the Carlisles and the Gatesheads and Hartlepools, etc. So it's going to be difficult for them. Yeah, it'll be an interesting season for Truro. But David, who's your 20th position?
Yeah, scraping survival again. For they keep doing it over and over again. They don't have one of the biggest budgets in the league, but they certainly know how to do it year on year. And that's Wealdstone again. I've predicted them to stay up this time. I think I predicted them to go down last year. So I'm impressed with the way that they're actually run as a club. The progression for players. They bring in players and the location as well. It helps that it's in London, obviously. They've got a big catchment area of, they pick up the players that drop out of full-time football, maybe some kids out of academies, and they push them through and they get EFL moves, and the money that they get from that comes straight into the coffers. And they spend that on trying to stay into the National League. They don't spend big, they don't do anything fancy, they're not really extravagant in the way that they play, but it works and they know how to do it. So I think it'll be close again. It's always close in this division. It came down to the final day who was getting relegated last time, and we witnessed Maidenhead go down, even though they beat us 3-0, which is a shame. But I think Wealdstone probably have enough knowledge to stay up in this division, and probably will do.
But they do have the Wealdstone Raider, as we mentioned as well.
Yeah, how many points does that get though?
Exactly. No points.
It's fashion points.
This feels like I'm doing actually the Eurovision actually today. So in 19th place with nil points. Now my 19th place is Boreham Wood. Obviously came up in the playoffs last season from the National League South. I'll be honest, I was a bit gutted actually with Boreham Wood coming up because I'm a Kent lad. I was born in Kent. I'm from Maidstone, and I would love to have seen Maidstone United get promoted. They lost out to Boreham Wood in the final. So I was a little bit gutted that Boreham Wood won that, but they did win it fair and square, decent game, good goal and all that. So they deserve to come up. I know they got a lot of money coming in as well from the Arsenal women's team that play at their ground, but I'm sure I've seen reports, I can't confirm this, but I'm sure I've heard reports that they're actually going to be playing at the Emirates next season, the Arsenal women. So obviously that's going to be a big financial loss to Boreham Wood as well, for maybe making their team much better. But I think, again, I know they've been in the National League in the past and they have got the National League experience, and they got relegated the season before. But I just feel as though it's going to take them at least a season to get back to sort of the National League way. So that's why I put them in 19th. Tom?
Exactly the same. Boreham Wood in 19th. So I just think they've actually got a stronger squad than the bottom four that I mentioned. And also what David mentioned, a little bit linked to the Wealdstone catchment area for loans. The loans that they could possibly get in the loan market from the area they're in, it'll trump what we could get up here by 2 or 3. So that could be really vital to them when it comes to loaning players. But I think they'll be all right. I think they'll do okay. Again, though, it's not going to be a lot between them and Truro, I don't think either. So, again, very, very tight bottom 5, 6 that I'm predicting here. But Boreham Wood for me, 19th place and another season at National League level.
Right. David?
Yeah, we might as well go 3 for 3. I've gone for Bournemouth as well. Luke Garrard is an amazing manager at this level. He knows what needs to be done. They've got quite an experienced squad. They've all played the EFL or National League before. They've got a healthy amount of money in the bank by the looks of it. I'd expect nothing less for them to stay up in this division again. They had a bit of a blip the season that they came down. But no, maybe just a little bit of a confidence boost and a win in the playoffs, and then I can push on and get back to their aspirations of pushing into the Football League, which they were before they went down, because I believe they had a few good seasons pushing for playoffs. So that's when they signed Danny Elliott off of us all that time ago. So no, they'll be looking to get back to where they were before the little relegation and trip around National League South.
And I do remember at the end, because I watched the game last season, the playoff final, and I do remember the manager was in a lot of tears at the end of the game. He completely took the blame for their relegation, saying he got it all wrong the season before. He took complete, that it was his fault. But his job, he was so determined to get them back up again, and obviously he did it at the first time of asking. So, like you say, I like managers like that, really, that are honest, down to earth, honest, and see it as it is. A bit like Graham, really, with us. But so we all say in 19th position is going to be Boreham Wood. My 18th is going to be Hartlepool United. Again, they've had a bit of a tough summer. At one point, it was looking quite dangerous for them that they could end up with no players. Players were leaving left, right, and centre. Things didn't look great for them. Obviously, the chairman's had the club up for sale. I know that Jeff Stelling, their celebrity supporter, has now left as president. And I believe that a letter's just gone out to all football clubs now in the National League to say, don't let Jeff Stelling in as part of the, as the party for, sitting in the posh seats, if you like, anymore. So a bit of a dislike there, but I still don't think they're 100% back to normal, but I believe that they are still struggling a little bit. They have signed some decent players, but I just think that this will play a part, and they're going to finish in 18th position. David?
For my 18th, we've gone I've gone for a team that we know quite well. They do what they know quite well, and they don't go any further than trying to play the way that they want to play, and that is Tamworth. I think gradually they're going to have to try and change the style, playing the way that they do, how physically and aerially focused and direct that they play. It can only probably get you so far. We see teams struggle within the English football pyramid, especially in League One and League Two, who try and play the same way. They end up struggling. You see the likes of Rotherham and Stevenage and people and teams that have employed this system in the past really, really struggle. And I think Tamworth can only go so far with the way that they're currently playing. I think it's enough to survive. Those long throws are always, a pain in the arse to deal with. And, we've seen them score off them many a time in the past. And I think for a part-time team, Tamworth are really, punching above their weight. To say that they got double promoted and then they've stayed up in the National League, I thought that was a hell of an achievement. I predicted them to go down rock bottom last year. I think they'll stay up again this year. But I think they'll slowly probably have to try and change their playing styles. It will limit their progression upwards. But no, for now, I think Tamworth are, a rock solid, steady National League side.
Steaders?
Completely different from both yours. For my 18th, I've gone for Yeovil Town. Reason being is I've got some little notes made here right there. Lots of players out of the door. They've had a big turnaround if you look at their ins and outs. They've signed no proven striker at all, and have all been offered 1-year deals only. So they don't clearly have a plan for the future, or see any kind of future with their players that they have, or have any trust in the players that they have. So I think that might make a little bit of a difference for them. I think so. Yeah, I don't see them pulling up any trees. Of course, I see them safe, but I don't see them being anywhere near. Probably, because I think they weren't far off there last year. I don't think as well, were they?
No.
So 18th, the Oval Town, anyway, for me.
Right. Okay. In 17th for me is going to be Tamworth. Again, I mean, they're only just, they've got their own way of playing, like you say. They've lost some players. I believe some players have gone, but they've recruited one or two others. I don't think, as I say, I don't think they're going to do as well as last season. But I think they will survive. So, yeah, in 17th place. Unfortunately, fortunately, however you want to take it, is going to be Tamworth. Steaders?
Bingo. Tamworth. Yeah, lots of Dan Cree, and he's just the thing to add really to the things you've said as well, guys. That's going to be
Solihull, hasn't he?
Yeah, massive loss to them. And let's be honest, he's been their talisman for a long, long time. And like you say, Tom Tonks' throws are still going to cause complete havoc for us. We still won't be able to beat them home or away. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
You are our bogey side. It was Gateshead, but we managed to call that one the back end of last season at home, didn't we? The last game of the season. So Tamworth, you are now officially our bogey side. But yeah, part-time again, home form once again, and surface to play on, all vital to how they are going to perform this season. I see them safe. They play to their strengths and they're good at it. But like David definitely touched on, and you did a little bit, Damo, the playing style is going to find them out one season or another, and we'll see them lurking towards that 21st, 22nd spot. But for this season alone, I just think there's weaker teams. So yeah, 17th Tamworth.
And just to make things a lot easier, the game against Tamworth away is going to be shown on DAZN as well. It's changed to a 5:30 kickoff in October, so that's something to look at. So if we don't go, we can get embarrassed and watch ourselves lose on TV. Probably, hopefully that won't be the case though this time. Hopefully we'll break that curse. Fingers crossed. So, David, who've you got in 17th?
So, in 17th, I've gone for one of the newly promoted sides from the National League North. And the only side that I've got left promoted from the National League North, and that's Scunthorpe United. I think Scunthorpe will find it harder than their fans are predicting it. I don't think the squad is good enough. They have Joe Starbuck and Jean Belejuan, who couldn't do it in National League North. Yes, they're different players. They struggled to get a goalkeeper, so they've gone and signed York's third choice goalkeeper, who's not played in the National League for 4 years. They've got a 36-year-old Andrew Boyce at the back. They've lost Michael Kelly to Boston. Yeah, I think they're going to be a side. They've still got Whitehall up top, and they've still got Callum Roberts. I think they're going to concede a lot of goals. A lot of goals. I think they're going to be a bit like Aldershot were under Widrington 2 or 3 years ago, who just stayed up purely on the fact that we score more goals than you to win games. Silly games like 4-3, 5-4, stuff like that. That's what I can see Scunthorpe being like this season. But I think they will ship a lot of goals. And that's why I put them, a few more solid defenders in there. Belejuan barely played a game for Gateshead when he got the move. A few more solid defenders and they'll be a decent side. But I think their defence will really, really let them down this season. And I think that's why Andy Butler's men will probably struggle. But, you could probably see it as a successful season, first season in the National League. I think they'll do fine. I just think they'll concede a lot.
Yeah, they've spent a few years down, haven't they, in the National League North now. So, like you say, they just need to get back into the National League. It is definitely a different style of play in that league than it is in the North for sure. So yeah, interesting. Right, my 16th, going up there one more place, is Woking. Neil Hardley came in. He's done quite well with them last season. He got them safe and all that. Haven't heard too much about them in the summer, if I'm being honest. But they're sort of one of them teams that are always around, and I think mid-table mediocrity is right for them. So for me, 16th, Woking. David?
In my 16th place, I've gone for Yeovil. Partly because of their ownership situation and Tom previously mentioned the fact that they've only offered their players 1-year contracts is a bit of a concern, but why are we commenting on that? We only started offering 2-year deals this year. So, it's unknown territory for us. So, we'll have to see how it works out. But for them, it doesn't look like there's much ambition there. I know they're thinking of trying to move grounds or secure the rights to a new place to play football in Yeovil, which is interesting. They're looking to sell the club to a new consortium. So maybe that's the fact and the reason why that they've only been offered 1-year deals. I don't think they'll be putting up any trees. I think they'll stay up comfortably, but there seems to be sort of a lack of ambition there at the moment. Maybe when the new owners take full control, because I think it's being phased a little bit. Maybe when they take full control, we might see a bit more of a positive outlook on it. But at the moment, I just think they'll be bog standard. 16th for me is Yeovil Town.
Steaders?
One not mentioned by either of you. Aldershot for me, 16th. Just that the form obviously fell off last season once they reached that trophy final, didn't it? Really fell off the wagon, let's be honest. It went from to relegation form after that, didn't they?
They did, actually, yes.
Really, really poor. So, but 12 players in, 11 out. I've just made a note on here, Josh Barrett, because they rely on him so much. If he doesn't start scoring for them, I struggle to see where they're going to score many goals. And now it's interesting because that's going to be Boston's first away game and first game of the season now. So that's going to be Boston. And then we've got a win down there. Me and David had a great night down there. Very friendly club, by the way. Let's give that a mention. One of the most friendly places to meet for a game of football. So if you haven't been down there, Pilgrims fans, get yourself down there. Very, very friendly club. Lovely people. 16th for me, though, Aldershot. Again, firmly safe, but just I say mid-table mediocrity for Tommy Witherington's men. I think that's where they should be pitching themselves as well. I can't see them being either end. They'll be just there, in the middle where they should be.
Yeah. Right. My 15th is going to be Sutton United. Again, a club which is always sort of, you see them in the National League, always every season, don't really pull up any trees, but they are there or thereabouts. That's really all I've got to say about them, really. So 15th for me is Sutton United. Steaders?
Going back to one previously named club that we'll go to on Valentine's Day next year, Scunthorpe. They're 15th for my liking. Defensive frailties. Again, me and David have probably covered very similar ground here. Defensive frailties. They do score goals, but I can see them drawing a lot of games as well. I can't see them, like you say, be one goal in any game, won't it, for them? There'll be 3-2s, 2-1s, whatever you want to make it of them. And the unproven goalkeeper is a massive thing for me as well. Like you say, they've gone out and bought a York City third choice goalkeeper to try and plug the gap. The Fitzsimmons transfer was a big blow for him. I can see why he's done it, because obviously he wants to go and earn a bit more money and play the highest possible league. You can't fault him for that. But in terms of goalkeeping wise, they haven't really replaced him, have they? I don't think at all. So yeah, I think they'll be in 15th again, not struggling, not going towards the playoffs, but Scunthorpe 15th. And like you say, they should. That's where again. I think that this is the kind of club that needs a bit of stability, doesn't it? After the wacky few years they've had of ups and downs, you know what I mean? They've had some absolute turbulent times and some joyous times. Just a bit of stability. I think if you ask most Scunthorpe fans, they'll be happy with that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, and I doubt there'll be a lot of love lost on on the 14th of February next year when we travel to Scunthorpe United. David, who's your 15th position team?
I've gone for a team that we all know very well in Boston United to finish 15th in the National League this year. I think that we will kick on from last year. The players that we've seen so far play for us, it's different. We definitely look a fitter side. He's definitely gone for fitness. We're lacking a bit of physicality at the moment. I'm guessing that's where Hazel and John Lewis come in. But you can definitely see a lack of height within the team. But we are built of workhorses. They're just willing runners who will run. And this is probably one of the fitter sides. I'd imagine we'll probably be one of the fitter sides in the National League in general. but I can't really see. I want us to be stable. I don't want to be flirting with relegation. We talked to Graham on the last interview with the management team as well, and they said a bit of stability would be all that they wanted as well. So
Yeah,
it's been a turbulent two or three seasons at the club. Coming up and then staying up with one of the best escaping relegation stories of history, and we've done it. And I think 15th, take it or leave it. I think we all take it right now. I'd rather not be in a scrap.
yeah, have to agree with you on that one. Right, 14th position, Gateshead. I've got. Again, they've kind of a team that's very up and down. They've had some successes, sort of being near the top for the last couple of years, but I just can't see them doing too much this season, really. I mean, they're going to have a lot of games less travelling this season, I guess. With Carlisle coming down and whatever, but yeah, I can just see them hanging on to mid-table this season. So for me, Gateshead 14th. David?
In my 14th place, I've gone for a team they've sort of been stripped and everybody sort of progressed onwards, and that's Halifax. Lakeland's gone there from Kings Lynn. He did a good job there, to be perfectly honest. He took a relegation standard team and took them up into the playoffs next season. He's a good manager. He's unproven at this level, though. However, I think that he'll get enough right, but I think they will falter. They've lost key players. Lost about 4 or 5 really, really solid players themselves. And I just think the impact of that, they haven't really replaced them either. So I think that they will drop down, but I don't think they'll be in any trouble.
Right, Halifax 14th. Steaders, who's your 14th place team?
It's all our favourites. It's Boston United, of course. 14th for me. A squad, good mix of proven in youth. We've got some hungry players, though, haven't we? We've gone for them ones, haven't we? Like David said, the fitness and the hunger of the side, I think, will get us through to a mid-table finish. We won't let in as many goals this season. I'm almost certain of that. We will not let as many goals in as we did last season, I don't think. Scoring, obviously, is going to be a bit of the issue, really. So, the goals, where are they going to come from and how many are we going to get from these strikers? This is a real question. That's the $1 million question. So, we do need a bit of help up top. But, 14th, steady season. Please, just nothing relegation flirting. If you want to go and flirt with the top 7, I'm not going to say no with it. But, no, let's be realistic. 14th would be a fantastic season.
Right. And I've still got Boston to come. But my 13th position team is Scunthorpe United. Again, like you guys, really, they've got a team that are aging quite a bit. It's their first season back. I think they'll do okay. Especially home games. I think their home form is going to have a big say. They get a good crowd, behind them there, and I think it's going to be that's going to sort of carry them to sort of just about mid-table, really. So my 13th team is Scunthorpe United. Steaders, who's your 13th?
Similar one just mentioned a minute ago. It's Gateshead for me, actually, in 13th as well. Lost a lot of key players, haven't they? The manager has come in didn't do very well at Darlow, did he? So Alan Armstrong, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, yes.
He hasn't really succeeded at this level either. Big drop off in form at the back end of last season as well. I just can't see it. And you know what? I think they're one of the most boring teams to watch as well. If you ever watch them, they are boring. And just in my hope as well, I hope they actually finish a lot lower than what I've put them. But I don't think they will. That's the problem. They're the kind of team, again, that will rely on home form, poor crowds, but get through it. Do you know what I mean? They'll always have enough. They'll always have enough to get through the season. So annoyingly 13th, but Gateshead will finish there for my liking.
David?
Yeah, for my 13th place, I've gone for Aldershot. Not really much to say here. They've lost a bit of, their core squad, but Widgington is proven and he gets goals out of his players and they play so attackingly. It's really, really you know, it's really interesting to watch how they play. You know, the amount of players that they send forward, but they do get caught out quite a lot. So I think they will, like Scunthorpe, like I said about Scunthorpe in the past or in the previous bit, they will score a lot of goals, but they will also concede a lot of goals. So that's why I've put them slap bang near the middle of mid-table.
Right. And 12th position for me now. And I've gone for Altrincham. It's going to be very well when they come to us. It's going to be a bit of a, oh, look who's back, look who's here. And they've signed a few. Obviously, they've signed a few Boston players from last season. I would say, apart from Keaton Ward, really players that were there or thereabouts, scored some important goals for us, but you know that was it, kind of thing. But no, I think Altrincham. You know, are going to do okay. I think they're going to be a settled team next season with these new players. I'm not sure if they're part-time, actually, or are they part-time? Do you know?
I think they're full-time.
Full-time, are they? Are they full-time? So, but yeah, I think it'll be, again, mid-table. You know, they've got a decent squad there. And yeah, I think they'll settle down into 12th for me. So, Altrincham. David?
Yeah, my 12th place, somebody that we mentioned, well, Damien's mentioned previously, is Sutton United. You know, we got relegated from the FL a couple of seasons ago now. They did okay. The thing with Sutton is they're another one of these clubs that produce these young talents. They pick up the players, they pick up the players that get dropped out, and they reinvent them and flip them on for profit. You know, we've seen some strikers go up into the Football League from them. We've seen multiple players, and you know, it's a good model to operate from at this level. You know, picking up the talents that aren't, you know, being used and reinventing them and pushing them on and getting profit for them. And yeah, no, it's a good model. I don't think they'll be doing anything special, which is why I've put them slap bang in the middle. It's Sutton United in 12th with the. Yeah, you know, Steve Morrison in charge. He's not the most exciting manager to play under, and I don't think it's the most exciting football club to play under either. But you know, they do what they do well, and you know, I think they'll just, you know, glide on by like they usually do.
Steaders?
Boston Reserves in 12th for me. Yeah, there we go. So we'll go with them for 12th. Loss of Regan Lilly obviously is going to be massive to them as well this season.
Mm-hmm.
Can Jimmy Knowles provide them kind of goals? Good luck to him, because I'm not sure he can. I actually think that the Keaton Ward signing is the best out of the 3 ex-Boston players for them, to be honest with you. I think he'll do best out of all 3 of the ones that he got from us. They've recruited well. Phil Parkinson's a great manager as well. I do like him. I do like him at this level as well. I think he'll do all right. But 12th place for Alty. Be interested to see what kind of reactions we get, like you say, when they come down to us at the JCS, won't it? And see how the fans take to the ex-players of some of these clubs, and see how they go. But yeah, I think the Regan Lilly loss is obviously it's going to be a big blow to anybody, isn't it? He's a big player for them, isn't he? So for that reason, slap bang in the middle, 12th. Jimmy will get him a few goals, but like you say, nothing that's going to be touching the playoffs, I don't think.
No. Right. Okay. Well, we're in slap bang in the middle of the league. So before we carry on, I'm just going to quickly, I did put it out online as well, ask people for their opinions. And this is just some of them. Carl Byfield, he thinks we've made some good signings and thinks we could finish 13th to 19th. And he thinks Carlisle and York getting promoted. Drew Huskinson, he thinks Carlisle will be promoted, though he thinks Boston is going to finish 22nd. He's gone for Woking as a surprise team, finishing 8th, and he thinks Rochdale will be going up via the playoffs. Ian Gatewood, he has Carlisle finishing top and Boston 4th. And David Parnell has Carlisle top and Boston 9th. He believes the new teams will struggle, obviously, except Carlisle. And finally, Mick Small, he's got Boston finishing 5th from bottom. So that's just some of them. I will read some more out after we've gone through our predictions. But thank you if you have sent it in. And I'm going to start off with 11th, and I'm going to go for Boston United. I feel as though we've had a good summer. Really, we've got some decent players in. I think it's taken its time for them all to gel, but I know it was only Sheffield United last week, but reserved under 21s. But I just thought the team were absolutely superb together. They seem to be gelling really well now. They looked very fit, looked a lot better, and I think 11th is a decent position. Like we said, want to stabilise ourselves in the league, and I think it's a good way of doing it really this season. So and most of the players were on 2-year deals, a lot of them. So we can maybe push on next season, but for this season, I'm going 11th. Steaders?
Hartlepool for me for 11th. I think they made some good signings. Obviously, got Reed in from Oldham, haven't they? Alex Reed's joined them. Quirgan as well from Scunny. Good players. Recruited well. They've got a good fan base as well, haven't they? They've got a great fan base. So if they can get them back turning up to the games, like you say, and just sort out all this nonsense with the owner at the minute, with the Mr. Singh or whatever his name is, then they'll be fine. But home form again is going to be vital for them. They can turn that place into a fortress. I can't see many teams going there and winning, to be honest with you. So 11th place for Hartlepool.
David, who's your 11th?
I've gone for a team that I don't really know that much about, who always seem to get by perfectly fine in this league. And they sort of do what they do. And, that's that. And that's Eastleigh. I don't really know much about them. I'm sorry if you are an Eastleigh fan, but, I haven't actually watched Eastleigh that much playing. Unlike the other teams, they're just not really of an interest to me, to be particularly honest with you. So they always seem that they do okay. They've got a few decent players. I just think slap bang box standard National League side, really.
Right. If you're an Eastleigh fan and you're listening to this, comment on this video below for this video and tell us why we should be watching Eastleigh. In 10th for me is going to be Aldershot. Again, like you guys were saying, last season when they started to do really well in the cup, they just seemed to lose form. And like you said, they were more of a relegation team. They've got a good manager in Widrington, like you say. I think they'll sort of be mid-table. They'll do well. They'll stay where they are. They'll do what they need to do their business when they need to do it. And it's a nice place. It is a nice place to go. I've been there many years ago, down to Aldershot, with the army barracks and everything as well down there. So my 11th, 10th was it, or 11th?
10th.
Where are we? We are 10th. Is Aldershot. Steaders?
Eastleigh for a 10th as well, along with David. So they've recruited well, I think. They're going to be hard to beat. Now, my boy Oliver's a bit good on his forward players. He tells me Tyrese Shade is the guy that's just left there, and obviously they've got some good money for him. So if they can put that money into good use into recruitment, they'll be fine, he tells me. So 10th place for Eastleigh. And again, it's no offence to you, Eastleigh. We just don't know a lot about you to comment any more than that. But we do know you're a steady National League side. So that's why you're finishing 10th for me.
I do like that centre-back they've got. What's his? Fran Salette. He's quality.
Oh, yeah, he was.
6'7". Yeah. Oh,
very good.
Stellar player.
And they had Deji Zatona last season as well. But I believe he's been released now.
Yeah.
Because he obviously got that really bad injury, didn't he? He's actually on TikTok, and I do actually follow him. He goes live a lot of the time, actually. So if you want to follow Deji Satona, you can see him on TikTok. Maybe ask him where he's going next. He might tell you. You never know. Right. Have you done your 10th, David?
Nope.
No, you. Sorry, we got completely lost there.
Don't you worry. My 10th position has all been mentioned by both of you, and this could be one of the ones that I get quite wrong, and I've realised that pretty quickly, and that is Gateshead. I sort of needed somebody, it's not the right way to predict it, but I needed somebody to put in this position. Gateshead look like they're going to struggle. They had the ownership difficulties, like lots of teams in this division. Wow, we're mentioning this quite often, the fact It's quite sad that we're having to do that as well. So maybe the English Football League and the National League maybe need to come up with a plan and try and sort this out to stop situations like this happening. But no, Gateshead had an embargo for transfers that they couldn't make. That has now been resolved. But, you know, Alan Armstrong there, struggled with Darlington, struggled in the league before. The players that have left are quite important to them. Like Luke Hannant's gone on to Oldham, I think, in the Football League. You know, it's going to be hard for them this year. So 10th may be a little bit too high for them, but you know they're steady. They do what it takes, and that's all Gateshead I think aspire to be.
Right, so there you go. Gateshead in 10th for David. Right, 9th for me. Well, I'm just going to say it one word because we've spoken about it. Eastleigh. Right, Stedders is your 9th.
9th is Sutton United for me. Also mentioned previously as well by you guys. Young potential side. Not many. Well, they've not lost many players, and they got their business done very early. So a very settled squad with them guys at the minute. So 9th place for Sutton, but we won't mind beating them away again, would we? So we'll take 9th place for Sutton, but 3 points from them as well.
David,
in my 9th place, I've gone for Woking. I think Neil Ardley is a great manager at this level. And, you know, he got them playing some decent stuff last year in the predicament that he's in. Give him time. I think, you know, it's a really good opposition in this league. It's a shame they've lost probably one of the better goalkeepers in this league as well, Will Jaskelainen, to injury. So they've had to go out and recruit and look for another goalkeeper. But Ardley's got a certain way of playing, and, you know, he'll let you know they're playing that way, and they'll leave everything out on the pitch. And we saw that against Boston. You know, quite frustrating to play against, and I think they can strangle and get a good hold of lots of these teams. They'll do quite well in this league. You know, if he gets a full season at it, I think they'll do quite well, and they'll be pushing for playoffs.
There you go. So very similar to Drew Huskinson, actually, supporter who I mentioned a few moments ago as well, who said that he thought 8th for Woking. So yeah, very similar thinking there, thinking Woking are going to do quite well. My 8th position is going to be FC Halifax. You know, again, a former league club. You know, they've done okay. Always seem to pull out the results as and when they need them. It's half decent ground, the bits that are full anyway, and only 2 sides when we went there last season. They were lucky to obviously get the result against us at the time. It was just at the start of our comeback, but yeah, for me in 8th position is going to be FC Halifax. Stedders,
team not mentioned by one of the three of us, I don't think yet, and I've got for Solihull in 8th. So Nicholson, Cam Green, Creaney, all great signings for them, I think. They're good at home, aren't they? God, they're good at home. They don't lose many games at home at all. They're really hard to beat, and they don't concede many goals either. So I think that their home form is going to get them right on the brink of the playoffs. And I think it'll be a great season for them. I think that, like I say, Dan Creaney signing at this level is great for them, isn't it? I can only see Cam Green doing well for him there as well, because, you know, wing play, he's, like I say, one that I will definitely miss in a Boston shirt this season. But Solihull Moors in 8th for me.
David, who's your 8th position?
In 8th position, I've also gone for Solihull Moors. I think they will be getting back to the good times of their National League career, let's say. You know, they came up a few years ago, kicked on under Andy Wing. He was poached by Barrow, and they fell all the way back down again to mid-table mediocrity. But, you know, I think they'll be going back to the glory days. They're going to Wembley twice in a week soon, because they are making some real good progression this season with the signings that they've made. I think they'll be a force this season. It's just another one of those clubs that, you know, knows what they do well, and they do it well, and they do everything they can to, you know, get somewhere. But it's within means as well. It's not like it's willy-nilly throwing money at it. It's strategic, and that's what I like about Solihull, is they don't go willy waving or willy wanging about. They properly plan their moves, and you could see that with the fact that Nicholson and Green and Creaney and all these players are choosing to move there. It's a really well run club when you look at it, and I think they'll be heading back towards the right end of the table.
Yeah. Got to agree with you there. My 7th position is Solihull Moors. Pretty much, again, what you guys have said. They've got Creaney, they've got Cameron Green, obviously Brad Nicholson as well. And he'll be doing his long throws, I would imagine. Definitely one to watch. They've got a decent team there. I think they've just signed another player recently as well, the last 24 hours or so. Looking a decent outfit. Like you say, they seem to pick up the results as and when they need to. And as I say, I've been impressed with them over the last couple of years. I've really sort of started watching them a little bit more on TV and whatever. And as I say, I think they're going to be finishing for me in 7th position. David, who's your 7th position?
7th position to sneak in the playoffs is... This one's a bit of a gamble from me. I don't really like taking risks, but I think this guy will work really well for them or really poorly for them. That's Hartlepool United. Some of the signings that they've made, it's quite a statement, isn't it?
That is.
Some of the signings that they've made, Alex Rees, quality players. Yes, they've lost Manny, Big Manny Dizawuthwe, or whatever his name is.
Yes.
To another big team.
Rochdale, wasn't it?
Yeah, to Rochdale, who could be pushing this season. But no, I think they will have a good season. But, this could go really one way. With the signings that they made, they could finish, top 5, or they could finish bottom, 8 or so, I reckon. But I think there's enough quality in there to get them in the playoffs. So that's why I've gone for Hartlepool in 7th place.
Interesting. It'd be interesting to see how they do. Stedders, who's your 7th position?
Again, a manager that was, I believe, tipped for the Boston job. Neil Ardley's Woking in 7th. So they're going to sneak in the playoffs for me. Good manager, good National League recruitment. They've only lost 8 players as well in the postseason. Form very, very good towards the back end of the season as well. If you look back, they really kicked on at the back end of the season, and they just don't lose many games. I can't remember them losing many games last season as well. Like I say, it's all about their manager for me. I think he epitomises what they're all about, and I think they'll just sneak in that seventh berth for me into the playoffs. Do I think they'll win the playoffs? No, but I think that'll be a great season for them. But Woking into 7th.
And to think I put them in 16th. Wow.
There you go. This just proves that we might be talking absolute gibberish.
Yeah.
You never know. It'd be interesting to see. My 6th position, is Forest Green Rovers. Signed some new players in. Obviously got the new manager in Robbie Savage. That'll be very interesting when he comes down to the Jakemans. And as I say, I don't think he's done too well in pre-season, from what I understand. They've not won many games in pre-season. They've struggled a little bit. Will that be proven? I mean, he's done well at Macclesfield, but obviously 2 leagues below this. He did get them promoted last season, but how good of a manager is Robbie Savage? I think this will really sort of show how good he actually is. I think, as I say, they're going to have big crowds wherever they go due to him being in charge, and they're all going to be big games. Whether that will help the team away from home and at home, who knows? But I'm going for 6th, Forest Green Rovers. David,
my 6th place. I said it I think I said it last season, and they really, ended up disappointing me and myself. I really like Altrincham as a club, the way that they're run, and I put them in my 6th place because I just love Phil Parkinson, the way that they play their football. It's great to watch. It's very different from our style of play, very attacking. It's going to be interesting. You've seen that Gale scored like 5 in 5 or something ridiculous.
He got more than Knowles has.
Yeah, wow. One more than Knowles has. He's getting them firing there. That I think there could be another playoff push coming for Altrincham.
Interesting.
I've gone for a few, these are the ones that could get me points at the end of the season. I've had to be a bit desperate. I need to retain my trophy. That's the thing. So I'm going for some desperate attempts, but we can see.
We shall see.
Yeah.
I have to agree with you actually about Altrincham, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Steaders, who've you got in 6th place?
Another manager I really rated, and I hate it because he came from that club as well. It's Adam Lakeland's Halifax in 6th place for me. So only 6 players out this season, 8 in, settled squad, home form. They don't lose many games at home at all, do they? Again, their home form was excellent last year. I like him as a manager as well. Like I say, I could see easily the last 2 that I've mentioned, Lakeland or Ardley in charge of Boston. Either one of them 2s at some point. I just like his style. I think he's got it down to a T. And like David said, he did an excellent job at Kings Lynn, didn't he? But I think they'll get in the playoffs into 6th place for me, and a very good season for Halifax Town. I just wish there'd be more fans there to see it.
Yeah, it was a bit, and then they only had 2 sides, didn't they, last season?
Yeah, boring, didn't it?
Yeah, it was, and I mean, obviously, Lakeland's got a point to prove as well, hasn't he, this season to Kings Lynn, really, and he's in a higher league, so yeah, that'll be quite interesting to see. My 5th position, and quite well into the playoffs now, is Southend United. I thought last season they were quite unlucky, really, especially, sort of in the playoffs. They did really well, some exciting games. It was just on that final hurdle they couldn't get over the line. But I think they've got a decent squad there. They've got a decent crowd behind them again next season, I believe. They've sold quite a few season tickets. And I think they're going to push them back into the playoffs again. Bit too strong, I think, to go straight back up, to go up rather. But I think the playoffs for Southend United in finishing in 5th. Steaders?
Yeah, snap. Southend United in 5th position. The Scott Morris signing, keeping him, I think, is massive for them. I'd have kept hold of him, I don't quite know, because he was fantastic for him, weren't he? Good fan base, spine of the team. They've kept all them as well. They've done really well to retain a lot of their players. Yeah. They made the playoff final last year, losing to a very strong Oldham side, and had a great run in them playoffs, didn't they? But yeah, 5th place for Southend for me as well. But like I say, the Scott Morris signing, keep hold of him. It's a great bit of business for them.
Yeah. And David, who's your 5th position?
My 5th place is Forest Green Rovers. And this is all going to depend on how good Savage actually is when the chips are down. I don't think managing Forest Green is as hard as everybody thinks it is. They've got lots of money. They are quite they're trying to be trendy and, trying to be new and trying to think of all these new ideas. But in reality, they're probably one of the favourites for this league anyway, with the amount of money and the amount of backing and the players that they've got. Players like Christian Doige and Joe Quigley, who should not be playing at this level because they are ridiculously good. And, I think it would be really bad if Savage, doesn't finish in the playoffs. I think that would be definitely an unsuccessful season for him. Maybe even see him getting sacked, because the quality in that side is too good. Whether he can release it to his full potential, they could probably go on and kick on and win the league and win the division with that side if Savage was as good as he thinks he is. But we'll have to see, won't we? It's all down to how he's an unproven manager at the level. It's all down to him, really, and we won't know until we face that force.
Exactly. Right. 4th. Well, I'm doing what you did to Woking, what I did to Woking, to Yeovil, because I'm saying Yeovil to finish 4th. I'm not quite sure actually how that happened, but yeah. So I'm going for Yeovil 4th. They've got a half decent squad. You never know. They might do well next season. Yeovil 4th. David.
I've gone for a team that have recruited well. I mentioned them previously, in I'm going to predict them as well. I reckon Rochdale will be my playoff winners for this year. They have what is looking to be one of the best squads, in National League recent history. Manny D, the goals that he scores might not be absolute polars, but he scores goals at the level. He's got like 40 goals in 80 games. 1 goal in every 2 games at this level is not to be sniffed at. The rest of the team, it's strong. It's really, really strong, and it's stronger than it's been before. I think the manager's recruited quite well, McNulty, and still they've got 40-year-old Ian Henderson scoring goals still. I don't really know how, but he is, and I think there's a lot of quality in that Rochdale squad. That's why I tip them to be 4th place, and I'm going to tip them to also get promoted via the playoffs.
Right, okay, there you go. So Rochdale to be promoted for you. And Steaders, who's your 4th position?
Forest Green Rovers for 4th for me. So we're getting now to the similar ones, aren't we? Where we're just a case of positioning really more than teams. But yeah, financial backing is ridiculous down there, isn't it? They've not lost a lot of players. A bit like David said, can Savage survive when there is a dip in form is the question. If they go 5-6 games without a win, what's it going to be like then? What I don't get about Savage as a manager in general is if he's that good a manager, why didn't he do it 20 years ago? This is what I don't understand.
True.
Why did he go to commentary 20 years ago and the media side of it? If he was that good a football manager, you'd have gone straight into it, wouldn't you? Surely.
Yeah.
So why has it taken this long for him to get to a job at this point? Don't really get it. It's a bit of a media circus for my liking. Don't like all this kind of thing. I hate it. People should be put there on merit, not through name or anything like that. And I think this is just simply done by his name. And like David said, you'll get bums in seats for teams and that, like just to watch him. Don't agree always with that. I think it's gonna. I think the wheels will fall off, and I think he'll end up getting sacked. But I still think they'll make the playoffs because they've got that good a squad. And so 4th Forest Green Rovers. But again, one I'd love to see finish way down on what I predicted.
I think he is actually the favourite to be sacked first out of all the managers in the division.
Really?
It shows you what's going to happen. But Forest Green has still got good odds to win the title. So it's the fact the squad's there. The squad is there. They just need somebody to unlock it. And whether he's the man, I think it's Forest Green all over, and it's trying to be different, trying to be edgy, trying to be different from everybody. And this could, either go really well or kick them up the backside. So we'll have to see, won't we?
Well, that kit's going to put a lot of people off as well, I think.
I don't want to look at that. It's awful, isn't it?
It is awful. Home and away is really bad.
Do 1-24 of kits next season.
Yeah, we should do. Yeah, definitely. Right, 3rd place for me is Rochdale. I think they're going to come on from last season. They had a sort of indifferent season last season in the end. But they've made some decent signings. The lad from Hartlepool as well, we mentioned earlier. I think he'll get a few goals for them once he settles in. I think they're going to be there or thereabouts this season, finishing in 3rd. David?
My 3rd place is probably not going to be the same as yours. I've gone for Carlisle, Tom. Ooh. This is for Tom. Yeah, I think Carlisle will come down, and I think they will not do as well as they'd hoped. I think their aim is to probably get promoted back the first time of asking. I don't think it will happen because of the strength of the 2 teams that I've placed above them. And it's not hard to realise who they are now, but I believe that the 2 teams that I've placed above them are very, very strong, good footballing sides. And I don't think Carlisle will do it. We never really see somebody come down, blitz the division and go straight back up again. So based off that record, I put Carlisle in 3rd place.
Right, okay. Steaders?
My 3rd is Rochdale. Easily for me the best recruitment in the league. What I've liked about them is the style of play fits the squad as well. The way they play football fits the players that they've got in and recruited well, like you say. Disaway, I can't even say his name. Sorry, the guy.
That's why I said the lad from Hartlepool.
Yeah, obviously Mancini as well has come through the door from them.
Yes,
and Moss as well. Quality National League players. They score a lot of goals. and then I'll go out on a limb and I'll go with David on this one. I think they're going to win the playoffs as well. So it's not only Rochdale to finish third, but it's also Rochdale to be victorious at Wembley and enter the Football League again.
Right. Oh, interesting. My second place team is York City. Again, I think they've made some changes this season. I think they're gonna, they've got themselves a lot stronger than they were, and I just think this season they're gonna really go for it. I don't think they're gonna be as strong as the team finishing top, but I think they will be up there, and I do actually think they will sneak through and get promoted as well in the playoffs. York City for me. So I'm going for York City to finish second and to be the playoff winners as well. Steaders, who's your second place team?
Mine's York City as well, Damo, actually. Yes. You've not been reading my work, have you?
I was thinking you two had been.
Obviously, the Ollie Pierce signing, retaining is massive for them, isn't it? A huge player for their club. I actually think this is a massive, massive season for York City. I'm starting to wonder now that, how many more seasons are they going to plough out this kind of recruitment money of literally just going out and signing whoever they want. How many more seasons can this be sustainable as a football club? How many more seasons can they be up there and not go up? I think this is a big, big season for York City in terms of that as well. They came very close last season, obviously. But like I say, I don't think they'll do it. I still don't think they'll get promoted. I still don't think they'll go up. I think they'll come second. And I think it'll be a very similar case to last season. They'll get a home tie in the playoffs and just not be able to get over the line. I just don't see them going up for some reason. I don't know why. It's just one of them things, isn't it? It's bread and butter of the National League at the minute, and I just can't see them going up. And again, 3 points over there would be beautiful, wouldn't they?
Oh, another 3 points. That would
on
be
Boxing
great.
Day as well, yeah.
Yeah. A nice Christmas present for sure. Second place, David.
I'm going for Southend United. I think Kevin Maher is a great manager at the level. I think he's done great since, they overcame the big ownership kerfuffle a few years ago. And he's definitely pushed on and gotten them playing the way that he wants to play. I don't think it'll be enough to win the division. But I think they'll be second to a very, very good side who you two have already mentioned in York City. So, yeah, Southend to finish second. And for my first place, I've predicted York City. I think York will have the minerals to go and do it. Signings like Newby, the good retentions with Pierce. I think this will be their year that they finally get back into the Football League.
Right, so you're going for York City as well then to go on and win the league as well. So I'm going for, I think, the same as Steaders. Carlisle United. They're a strong team. They've got a strong backing behind them. They've got American owners and hasn't quite worked out for them just yet. But I think this relegation probably could give them the kick up the backside that they probably need. They've got a good manager in Mark Hughes, who, again, like Forest Green Rovers, he's going to bring the fans in as well, I would imagine. It'd be interesting to see him down at the Jakemans next season. And, they've retained a lot of their players. They've added to it. And I just think they're too used to league football. And I think they're just going to go straight back up. I think they're going to storm the league and be champions again come May next year, May next year. Steaders?
Yeah, as you know, Carlisle is my number one pick as well. Again, they're going to be very, very tough to beat at home. Regan Lilly, fantastic signing for them, I've put. They're not going to concede many goals. They've got a good fan base. What I will add to Carlisle, though, winning the league is that they're going to be on with the big targets on the back. They're going to be the team that everyone's going to go down the cup final, aren't they? Which is probably why David's gone to the third place for them, because there's going to be some teams that are just going to want to do them over and turn them over, aren't they? Let's be honest. So for that reason, it can be a bit sticky for them. I don't think it's going to be as cut as dry as everybody thinks as well. I don't think it'll be a walk-away kind of league again this season. It's going to be very tight at the top. As you mentioned, it is at the bottom. But I just think they're going to have too much quality for anybody else in this league, and they're going to go back up on them circumstances. So, yeah, Carlisle to win the league for me.
Right. There you go. So that is our predictions. So if you think you can do better, do let us know. You can reply to this tag on the videos and on the podcast, and let us know what you think. As I say, we've had a few people who are messaging already. As I mentioned some earlier, Darren Ruck is going for top 3 for Boston and says in his own words, stupidly optimistic.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, is there?
Love it, Darren. Love it.
Exactly. Yeah. Richard Mills, he says mid-table. And Nigel Robinson says 10th for Boston. Jack Mills, he says 15th finish and 4th round of the FA Cup. I think I'd take that, actually.
A good cup. Fantastic,
it would, wouldn't it? Yeah, a decent team in the 3rd round at home as well. That'd be great to see, for sure. Josh Butler, he said with a decent striker, mid-table, though he'd take 20th. Stacey Hiome says it depends if the manager can get them playing like the team like last year. 10th to 16th comfortably, says Liam South. Michael Thorne, he's going for 12th. Paul Green says stay up and a good cup run. And Nick Edwards says 12th. Anthony Boyle thinks last playoff spot, while Kieran Pick is saying Gateshead champions and top 6 finish for Boston. That's and HD Nick, sorry, go on.
I was just saying that's a bit ambitious, isn't it? Gateshead champions. Do you know something that we don't?
Well, you never know. Well, let's see. HD Nick, though, this is an interesting one, says 7th for Boston. Southend to win the league. She thinks Boston will play Forest Green Rovers in the playoff final and make Robbie Savage cry in their stupid kits, as she puts it. And she says she has psychic powers too. So there you go.
I hope that's right.
I would love to see that. I would really love to see that. So thank you to everyone that has messaged in. Been overwhelmed with responses. And like I say, we're gonna, I said before, if anyone wants to, we're gonna measure them all up, and the person that gets the most right, besides us, we'll have on as a guest next year in the summer to talk about all things Boston United. So send your entries in of how you think they're going to do, and you could be joining us next year. This Saturday, as I say, unfortunately, there's no league game, but we do have Middlesbrough at home in the National Cup, 1 p.m. kickoff, and then we're hosting Leeds next Tuesday with a 7 p.m. kickoff. Then it all kicks off a week Saturday, the 16th of August, away at Aldershot. So exciting times. Right. Thank you, lads, again. David, you can go and get some more sleep now.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a long day.
It's been a long day for you. And thanks once again, Steaders. And we will be back very soon. As I say, you can subscribe on all platforms, including YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, everything like that. And we'll look forward to seeing you again very soon on another edition of Up the Pilgrims.